Hello everyone, welcome back. We will be starting off with yet another topics relating to chapter 2, that is the nationalist movement in Indochina. Okay, so we will be discussing about the topics which we have not discussed in our previous class. Okay, everyone, we will start with a topic called as religion and anti-colonialism. Okay, so what happened was religion played a very important role because why we are focusing on religion is because it was through religion also, which moved the people. Okay, because what happened was in Vietnam also people follow different religion. Okay, and so what happened, the French wanted to change that. Okay, so religion created conflict between the colonial ruler, that is the French people, okay, and the nationalists in Vietnam, okay, the common people in Vietnam. Okay, so it created conflict among the people, between the two group of people, because religion was considered important on both sides, but they have different religion. Okay, so the Vietnamese, as we all know, they followed, Buddhism and Confucianism. Okay, so that is another type of religion which was formed. Okay, so the Vietnamese people, they followed Buddhism and Confucianism. Okay, so Buddhism and Confucianism existed in the Vietnamese society, and so the French people, they wanted to bring the Roman Catholic religion into Vietnam, changing the Buddhism and Confucianism religion from their scene. Okay, so next, when we talk about Confucianism, okay, Confucianism was created by a person called as Confucius. Okay, Confucius was a Chinese thinker. Okay, and he lived from 1551 to 479 BC. Okay, so what happened was Confucius, a Chinese thinker, what he did was he preached about good conduct. Okay, he taught people about proper social behavior. He taught people to respect parents and obedience. Okay, and obeying the elders. Okay, so what happened was began to he began to preach all these things to the people. Okay, and his philosophy was that the rulers had to act like fathers towards their subject, okay, who should be treated as children. So according to Confucius, he said that a king or a queen should treat his citizens like their own children. Okay, should take care of the people living in his kingdom or dynasty as their own children. And so through him, okay, the new religion came about, so that is called as the Confucius or Confucianism. Okay, so that is the religion which was started off. So what happened was, okay, the French missionaries, okay, so when the French came, what happened, they brought their missionaries along with them. Okay, missionaries, in order to preach Christianity, Roman Catholic. Okay, in order to bring Christianity. Okay, so what they did was they came to Vietnam. These missionaries came to Vietnam and they told, okay, or they preach. So they preached against, okay, the religion, okay, against the customs, against the tradition and culture that the Vietnamese were following. Okay, so what happened was when the missionaries came, they tried to pollute the minds of the Vietnamese, telling them to convert themselves, telling them to change themselves, okay, from the cultural practices that they were doing. Okay, so they also wanted to correct the Vietnamese, okay, because there was a lot of supernatural beliefs, okay, or superstition. Okay, so what happened when they arrived as missionaries to Vietnam? They wanted to change their religion, their traditions, their culture, okay, as well as their supernatural belief which they were practicing in Vietnam. Okay, So when these changes were happening, okay, when these changes were happening, what happened? A scholar revolt broke out in 1868. Okay, a scholar revolt broke out in 1868. Okay, it was a revolt which was against the spread of Christianity. Okay, and it was officiated by the royal court. Okay, the rulers of that place, they were the one who instigated, who started the scholar revolt to fight against the uh, spread of Christianity by the French people. Okay, so over 1,000 Catholic people, okay, were killed, okay, in the provinces of Nguyen and Hattin. Okay, these are the two Vietnamese places, mostly located in the southern part of Vietnam. Okay, in these two places, around 1,000 Catholics who were converted, Vietnamese convert, okay, those Vietnamese who converted themselves to Christianity, they were killed in this revolt. Okay, so it was estimated that the Catholic missionaries, okay, it was estimated that the Catholic missionaries by the middle of 18th century, they have already converted around 3 lakh people in Vietnam. Okay, so the French government, okay, the French government, they tried to suppress the revolt. Okay, so the French government, okay, they crushed the revolt which took place. Okay, even after it was crushed, we could see that in most of the places people were still protesting and revolting against the French. Okay, and also in Vietnam, okay, there was mixed feeling. Okay, because some group of people supported the French, some group of people supported the Vietnamese people. Okay, so but we can see clearly that religion also sparked nationalism, the idea of nationalism in Vietnam. Okay, so now we will be talking about a very famous movement called as the Hu Hao movement, okay, which happened in Vietnam. Okay, now we'll be talking about a famous movement. Okay, here, okay, it was a movement, okay, which began in 1939. Okay, mark the date. Okay, so it is a movement which began in 1939. Okay, and it was started in the Mekong Delta. Mekong Delta is located in the southern tip of Vietnam. So you can see it in the picture on your right hand side. Okay, so you can see the Mekong Delta. Okay, so it was a movement which was started by a person named Hyun Pu So. Okay, so he was born in 1920 and he passed in 1947. Okay, so what happened was he had helped, okay, he had helped poor, he helped the poor. Okay, performed miracles, preached against gambling, drinking, and opium smoking, and the sale of child brides. Okay, we can see that he was doing a kind of work, okay, like a social worker in Vietnam. Okay, he was preaching about gambling, stop gambling, drinking, opium smoking. Okay, opium smoking and the sale of child brides. Okay, so we can see that. Okay, we can see that he was doing a lot of social work itself in Vietnam. Okay, so the French tried to suppress this movement. Okay, the French tried to suppress this movement and declared him mad. Okay, so when the movement was going on, okay, he played a very active role. Okay, he played a very active role against bringing people to fight against the French. Okay, so the French did not like it. Okay, so in order to suppress the Hu Hao movement, what happened was, okay, the French declared him to be a mad person. Okay, the French declared him to be a mad person and he was sent to a mental asylum. Okay, so it would be like a mental hospital. Okay, he was declared mad and he was sent to a mental asylum. Okay, so it was very ironical, okay, that what happened was, okay, the doctor in the asylum, okay, the doctor who was treating him, okay, also became a follower of Hyun Purso because of the way he preached. Okay, and instead of declaring him insane, okay, instead of declaring him to be a mad person, now he became as a follower of Hyun Pusu. Okay, so in 1941 the French released Hyun Puso from the mental asylum, okay, but they exiled him, okay, but they could not risk they could not risk, okay, in keeping Hyun Puso in Vietnam. So what happened was he was sent to exile, okay. Exile means to never to return to Vietnam. He was sent off to Laos, okay, that is the neighboring country with Vietnam. Okay, so what happened was many of his followers were sent to concentration camps as well. Okay, so religion played a very important role. Okay, religion played a very important role in instigating the national movement in Vietnam as well. Okay, so now we will move towards what is modernization. Okay, so what is modernization? Okay, what was modernization? Because the French were bringing modernization into Vietnam. Okay, so the Vietnam people of Vietnam had to decide, okay, what modern meant to them. Okay, so some people say that, okay, modernization, if modernization come, okay, will they discard their own culture and language? Okay, they were questioning to themselves, if modernization came, okay, will they be rejected from the previous ideas and social practices? Okay, if if modernization came, okay, what happened? Their ideas and means of copying the West, okay, that does it mean that they will copy same as the French people? Okay, now they were questioning to themselves. Okay, yes, no doubt it was right for them to question, okay, because they knew that their culture, their language, okay, were gonna be removed very soon. So they were trying to question to themselves. Okay, so some of the intellectuals in the Vietnamese society also believe that, okay, to if they resist the domination of the West, okay, what will happen is they will strengthen Vietnamese culture. If they reject the foreign culture, if they reject the things that the foreigners were bringing, then they would automatically strengthen Vietnamese in their land. Okay, so a kind of a debate broke out. Okay, so and this debate was not easily solved at one go, because groups of people in Vietnam liked the modernization that was taking place, and then half of the groups, they didn't like the modernization that was happening. Okay, so what happened was opposition, okay, some of the people who opposed the French dominion, okay, was provided mostly by the Confucius scholars. Okay, the Confucius scholars were the one who did not like the coming of the French people in Vietnam. Okay, so one such leader was Pan Poi Chau. Okay, he lived from 1867 to 1940. Okay, so Pan Poi Choi, okay, Pan Boy Chao, okay, he was a scholar, okay, from Nguyen province, okay, he was a scholar, he was intellect, okay, so he was a very learned man, okay, and he was from Nguyen province, okay, and he was trained in the Confucian tradition, okay, under his father, okay, so in 1885, Ban Poi Chao, by 1885, okay, he saw that the French people were trying to crush all the scholars who were being educated in the Confucianism way, okay, or in the Confucius way. So what happened was he saw all these things happening in front of his eyes. Okay, so what happened was by 1903, okay, what he did was he formed a revolutionary society called as the Du Tan Hoi. Okay, so it was formed, a revolutionary society was formed in order to protest against the French people, and it was known as Du Tan Hoi. Okay, it was formed along with Prince Chong Day. Okay, so this was a prince in Vietnam. So with him, okay, together they formed the revolutionary society, and the prince was made as the head of the revolutionary society. Okay, so what he wanted to do was he wanted to make good alliance, okay, with the ruling classes of Nguyen, okay, so that, okay, they will be able to fight together for the independence movement, but for driving the French people out of Vietnam. Okay, so so from 1905 to 1908, Ban Poi Choi, he lived in Japan. Okay, there he made many Japanese and Chinese revolutionaries. Okay, during that time, a lot of revolutionaries were taking place in both Japan and China for their independence. Okay, so what happened during that time? He was inspired by meeting people. Okay, by meeting Japanese and Chinese people who were fighting for their countries as well. Okay, and there he met a Chinese reformer called as Ban Poi Chao. Okay, he met a Chinese revolutionary. Okay, sorry. He met a Chinese revolutionary or a reformer called as Liang Qiu. Okay, Liang Qiu Chao. Okay, and he met him in Yokohama. Okay, that is in Japan in 1905. And after meeting him, along with him, okay, he Pan Poi Choi, he wrote a book called as The History of Lost Vietnam. Okay, in that book he wrote about the loss of sovereignty, okay, losing of their nation, okay, cutting ties with China, okay, how Vietnam slowly had to cut its relationship with China because of the French. Okay, no doubt China and Vietnam, they shared a great bond with each other. Okay, there were two countries which shares good bond, and because they are just close together. Okay, but all these ties had to be cut down because of the French occupying this territory. Okay, so what happened was Ban Poi Chao, okay, in 1906, Ban Poi Chao met another great Vietnamese leader called as Ban Chu Trinh. Okay, he met him in Tokyo. Okay, after 2 weeks of discussion, okay, Ban Poi Choi realized that it was no good talking with him because he had different ideas. Okay, and they could not connect with each other. Okay, so this is the starting phase of how, the nationalist movement started in Vietnam. Okay, we will be talking about the rest in our next chapter. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.